All right, so in this episode, we're going to go and talk about the economic collapse that we're all facing here. So, the first things first is the reasoning behind this. So, the reason is the United States dollar was backed by gold during the World War II, and then about 1970s, when Nixon was president, he decided to change the gold standard so he can pay for the war for Vietnam. And ever since then, our money has not been backed by anything. So right now, our money is basically based off of fairy dust. And because of this problem, this is the reason why we're seeing these fluctuations inside. And what we see is, a burger costs like $9 now. I live here in Southern California, and it's just inflation and then stagnation and a few other things. But the bottom line is really the dollar's not worth anything, and all the debt collectors are kind of just getting tired of it because they're not actually going to get their money back because we are $20 trillion of debt as America. So once more people start to realize this and the dollar finally catches up to the people who actually own the debt for all these things, there's probably going to be a new currency. A lot of us have been learning about cryptocurrencies for quite some time now. I don't know if it's going to be a cryptocurrency or not. Another reason why I wouldn't really bet on a cryptocurrency at this moment, just because it's too new. The other reason is because America has 1.5 trillion circulating active currency, and Bitcoin right now only has 21 cap max currency that it can have. So I don't even think Bitcoin would even be a viable coin. I'm actually looking into a coin that I was trying to create, which was B coin. That one I was actually backing up with honey, believe it or not, liquid gold. The reason why that one was going to get backed by that was because it's an actual commodity. It's a physical commodity you can hold. It's consumable, so it fills the need of we can get more of it if we need to put more inside of it to make our currency worth more, or take out less if we need to make it worth less. But the cap for that one is 2 to the power of 15. So that's 2 with 15 zeros behind that. That's basically like $2,000 trillion. But it's not going to be in dollars, it's going to be in B coins or B tokens. So that's what I was looking into. The other reason why I was going to be backed up by bees, like honey, mainly because, bees actually create a massive economic thing for us. If you start adding up not just the honey, but, America alone exported like 2 million honey, and that's not the only thing they make. They also make beeswax. That's something we all use. But not just that, they also pollinate a lot of things. So they pollinate, watermelons, blueberries, raspberries, asparagus, almonds, like that. That's really something serious that a coin should be backed by. When you start adding all that stuff up, it's like $1 trillion at least, somewhere around there, and that's on a yearly basis, as opposed to gold is on a stagnant basis of 2 trillion, just under 2 trillion actual value. So yeah, we need to find a new type of backing up of currency, and that, to me, is going to be the thing that's going to happen. The other thing is honey does not expire, so that's a good thing. All it does is crystallize, and you can microwave it, and then it becomes useful again, as long as it doesn't get contaminated. So that's another reason why it's going to be backed by honey. So basically, after that type of thing happens, the reason why I wouldn't put it into cryptocurrency is because if it gets reevaluated and it gets reevaluated into a new currency, you're going to lose money. And you could lose a lot of money doing that. So I do know the World War II generation, they learned to hold on to those metals because the actual physical commodities are going to be worth more. And that's really where we're headed. There's actually a few other things, but this isn't actually related to the economy. So some of you know that I've been doing, working on this business plan with another company. So this other company, we're writing up the contract so I can own 33.33% of his company, which is a CCTV manufacturer in Norwalk. That CCTV manufacturer, I went to talk to his son, and then they decided to change the plan on me, so they wanted to have me do commission straight for him. I'm not doing commission for anybody. There's no point in me working commission for anyone. There's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's the reason why I work for myself. If I'm just going to work, 9 to 5, just straight commission for you, no. I can do the same thing and work for myself. So I tried to get him to change the deal. He thought about it. His son told me the options are either I become commission or buy out. So I talked to the owner of the company named Leo, and he said right now he doesn't want to actually be bought out. But he said in maybe 3 years he's looking for a partner. This guy changes his mind all the time. So he really wouldn't be a very good business partner anyway. I do know his company is not doing very well financially. So how all this came about was a couple of months ago I ran into him, and I was doing sales for my company. And I pitched him. He wanted to do technical support with my company, IT Repair Insurance. So we started working together, but it turns out he couldn't afford to pay me. So he wanted to change the deal to have me work for him full-time, but then he couldn't afford to pay me either. And then it got changed to part-time, and he couldn't afford to pay me either. But then he wanted me to do sales, but just straight commission. So I told him, the only thing I would want out of this company then is equity, because there's nothing else of value here. And that's kind of where all that began. Like I said, I wrote the contract for him. I'll go ahead and probably add that to this video so you guys can all take a look at the contract I wrote for the guy. It also turns out when I wrote the contract, his son's actually not going to be inside of it, so that contract would have had to have been rewritten anyway. But yeah, that's where that one stands. Recently, I was actually looking for a China manufacturer to pair with my company. So, the China manufacturer I'm looking for actually found me. Yeah, believe it or not. He was looking for some marketing research here in Southern California, or not California, but America, to see what the prices are for specifically Hikvision cameras and Hua cameras. So I researched that for him and then got him some of the information. But as I was talking to him about it, because he couldn't actually give me specifics on it, like site plans or anything, so I thought something was a little bit suspicious. So I dug a little bit deeper, and it turns out he's actually a manufacturer in China, which is great for me because now he wants to partner up. But we'll see where this one goes. Like I said, the last partnership I had with Leo just didn't really work out so well. But you never know. I really do need a partner from China, though. It really helped me out a lot. So if I do get this partnership with China, what's going to happen is I wanted to run his tech support, but he already has a tech support company in Taiwan, so he's not really interested in that part. But he wants me to start, pushing his products to all the distribution companies here, and then also he will have, my insurance company run the insurance for the products. So instead of giving warranties, my insurance company will run that. I think that'll be a pretty good deal, as long as, we can get that in writing. I learned in this, you gotta have everything in writing. So once we go forward from there, then we'll see where this is. But this is also a little new, so there's really not enough gears turning right now for me to for sure this is what's gonna happen. No, it's still too new. I met this guy a couple of days ago, so it is what it is. Bitcoin mining, actually. We're coming back to Bitcoin. So I actually got a customer for that one. The customer for that wants to know, for profit margins for Bitcoin mining, and then also margins for Ethereum mining. So I ran some of the numbers on that for him. He's telling me the location's going to be in Africa. I mean, to be honest with you, the last time I did business in Africa, it was in Nigeria, and it did not work out so well. So this is a different part of Africa, but I still like, I mean, it's still a little too new for it to be valuable. But, we'll see. He's telling me it's like he's from China, and then the company's actually in what the hell was that place called? I don't remember. It's in Africa, though. It's on like the east side of Africa. But that place, the government there wants to, it's Ethiopia. Ethiopia wants to get a mining rig there for their government process. But he can't seem to give me the details of the location of how big it's going to be. So, I mean, honestly, I don't think that much is really going to go anywhere. He's just too indecisive on his answers. But, you never know. I don't try to judge a book by its cover, but that ain't looking very pretty for that one. So, those are a few of the things that have been going on with me recently, company-wise. Installs, I don't have any installs right now for my IT security systems. I got to run a little bit more ads. I actually need to raise more money for that. So, for that one, I'm probably looking at like $60 a month on ads just from Facebook, and then YouTube ads is like another $60, and then Google ads is like another $60. So it's all starting to add up pretty fast. And then, from there, we'll go forward from there. But I'm not sure which ones I want to advertise, like what part of my companies I want to advertise to. So I think I want to advertise my installation company because I don't really have a whole lot going on that side. So I want to do something more physical, so I'm not driving around doing Uber all the time. As you see right there, I'm actually doing some installs in between. Technical support in between is not too bad, but my clients just don't have enough clients. 2 clients, 3 clients a month just don't cut it, man. I don't get enough hours, so I need to get more of them. That's kind of where I'm hoping that deal from China will come into play. And then once I get that deal from China, then I should start moving a little bit more. But if I don't actually have to do technical support, oh man. Yeah, if I don't have to do technical support, man, that's really going to help me out a lot. So all I can really focus on is just the insurance side of it, which is good. So I can have insurance for CCTV products. But yeah, that's basically exactly what's going on right now with both the companies. And we'll just go forward from there. I'll go ahead and work a little bit more on the collapse too. So let's come back to the collapse. So there's a little bit like a pre-warning for this, like in Europe. Europe had at one point they all had their own individual currencies and they couldn't really support each other. So that's kind of the reason why the euro was created. And all these coins were actually backed by America because America, like I said, had the one that had all the gold. So what's going to happen is a lot of places are going to collapse. So what you saw in like Greece and all the other countries, it's going to happen to all of them because they're all not backed by any physical things. Well, for the most part, most of them are backed by United States gold. So that's the reason why China's looking for a new currency and quite a few other ones. So this will be interesting. The next couple of years. I hope it doesn't get to the global Great Depression. Almost exactly 100 years after the first Great Depression. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm trying to be optimistic, but everything's kind of leaning towards that. So the question is what currency will come out of this? That's kind of why I created my own currency, to kind of push to stop this problem. And I've noticed a lot of people pay attention to what is the most expensive currency. That's really not the currency you should be paying attention to. It's really going to be the ones that are going to be, not paying that much. The reason why is because those ones are going to be a lot more stable. I mean, Bitcoin's like nice and flashy because it's like 7,500 right now. But the reason why it's so much is A, it's the first one, and B, the market cap for it only goes to 21 million. Like I said earlier, you kind of need to have something that's a little bit more viable, and that's really why you need to have more currency out there. So at 21 trillion. I'm tired. But yeah. So those are really the factors that are leading up to the what's going to be the global Great Depression. This is not going to be good. But yeah, I mean, if I get this partnership with the China Ironclad, we start working with a new type of currency, then I think that'll start helping. I think when I also create this new currency, I'm also going to probably push small businesses to try to start using it a little bit more, because yeah, I mean, the currency is just not stable is the problem. So I notice that, the more I talk about it, the more people will come open up to it, and eventually they'll start, getting the currency that I have. It's just repetitive hearing of the same thing over and over, and eventually they'll start buying it. It's the same way with everything else. It's the reason why you like, this pop song, because, you heard it a bunch of times. It's repetitiveness. And it's really the only thing that's going to fix this homeless problem that we have. As I'm making this video. So yeah, now you kind of understand exactly, what's going on. And when we fix that, man, that's really going to help. Less people will be homeless. The main reason why people are homeless is because, the United States government decided to do all that debt problem that we have. The banks, what the banks do is they just continuously print money to make more loans, to make more money, which ultimately hurts all of us. So that's the reason why we are where we are. The Federal Reserve is actually a private bank. It's not actually part of the government. So that's exactly how that works over there. So those are the two major problems which is causing this thing in the first place. So Uncle Sam is in debt. The United States currency is not backed by anything anymore. It's backed by fairy dust. And the Federal Reserve just constantly prints more money. Jeez. And yeah, that's really where all of our problems are. Also, the government also prints more money too, if you didn't know that. That's how they escape this debt problem that they have, but their collectors are starting to get mad. So that's where the global economy is. And it's gonna be bad. So let's do the final part of this video, or preparations. So what would you do to prep for this? Well, there are multiple things you can do. And history shows that, you can leave from one area and go to another area that's more prosperous, like India or China, because right now they actually have the lowest paid currency. So if you were to do this, the currency you have now would actually pay a lot of money. And it might not actually be that bad of an idea, mainly because, you're still a United States citizen, so you still get all the benefits of being an American. You still get, unemployment if you still have unemployment. You still get food stamps, and then you still get government aid, so like if you can't pay your rent or whatnot, they'll give you money for that. So for those three things, I mean, you still get all the help from the government. You just go live in another country, which isn't that bad of a deal, actually. I was actually thinking about doing that. The other thing is, now is actually a great time to learn how to sort of survive on your own. how I'm doing it right now is driving for Uber and hustling, trying to build my company and get as strong as possible so I can do it all myself. Because what's going to happen is physical commodities are going to be the thing, but not every single physical commodity is going to be it too. Like cars, for instance. Here in America, as soon as you buy the car, a brand new car, you drive it off the lot, you've already lost like $2,000-$3,000 easily just by driving it off the lot. And then the next 2 years after that, it drops like $10,000. So a new car does not hold a value at all. That's something I learned. I mean, I knew that it didn't hold that much value, but I didn't realize how much it drops so fast. Like, my debt is more than what the car is worth. So yeah, it's definitely not a good idea to buy a new car. And there's a few other things too. But yeah, look, GMC is the car manufacturer. They've been around for like 100 years, and they're about to go under because they've actually overproduced. So because of that, there's a lot of other things I'm doing that. The very first time in history this ever happened was the furniture companies. So the furniture companies, they would build like such great furniture. This is the reason why, like, if you buy furniture from like the Victorian era, that furniture is built to last. Like, I would rather buy a furniture from the Victorian era than buy a brand new furniture because it's made by IKEA and you usually have to assemble it yourself, and it's piss poorly assembled instructions. Like, it's not the best. So, this is the part where we're going to start realizing that quality matters, because everything being mass produced is just not that great. But then quality is also one of those double-edged swords. You create too good of a product and then nobody needs to buy it anymore, kind of like with cars and things along those lines. And also if they're expensive too. They're really expensive things that are built to last for a long time. It's one of those things, a really good quality, it's going to last you a very long time, but from the manufacturer side, it hurts them a lot. So that's going to be an interesting market. A lot of those companies that do like furniture, car manufacturing, even my industry, cameras. I mean, there's only going to be so many people who need security cameras. And we're getting to that point where, even in my industry specifically, the cameras, it's actually cheaper to buy a used camera than it is to buy a new camera. And we're talking like a 1-2 year old camera. Multiple reasons why, but one of the biggest reasons is because here in America, you can get a 5-year warranty. So a 5-year warranty for a camera is pretty good. 2 years, boom, get somebody else's camera and then use that one. Well, it also goes on the date of purchase, not the actual time it's manufactured. So if you buy a camera that was like a year later, 2 years later, well, now you got a 5-year warranty on that. That's, you already paid less for in the first place. Now let's say they didn't do that and they, like, we got a lot of stock, let's get rid of it. Well, what they do is they send it to like Costco or Sam's Club and they sell them as do-it-yourself kits. Well, that's another problem. When you have overstock and you start selling it to those type of companies, well, you're really just competing with yourself now at that point. So, yeah, that's a major problem, and it happens to a lot of industries. But the cars is really like the most common one that you've noticed. But anyways, this is Joshua Kennedy, and I'm signing out.